Hi there, welcome to the Cycletherapy. My name is Javier. Finally, good weather is back. Ready to ride, ready to get on the motorcycle, go on some adventures. But today we're going to talk about the Fuel X Pro. So a few of you have been asking me to do a review on this item. I've had this item for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So we're going to talk about whether you should buy it or not. I'm gonna let you know a little bit of the quirks that it has. And I'm gonna show you how I install this on my Husqvarna Vitpilen 401. So stay tuned and let's go ahead and check it out. Fuel X Pro Auto Tune Electronic Fuel Injection Optimizer. So if you own a Vitpilen 401, you may have noticed that your motorcycle sometimes stalls when going downshift. I don't know if the newer Vitpilens 401 have that problem, but I've heard it many times that the older first generation, I think it's like the second generation actually, but mine is the 2020. And it did this thing where I would downshift from like second or third to first, and or sometimes just I like to do neutral when I'm going into like a stop, and it would just literally shut off randomly, usually when the motorcycle wasn't warmed up yet. And also it did this other quirky thing where when you had it like in first gear, you would accelerate. It would kind of stall a little bit. It wouldn't give you the full force of the engine. So it's kind of like a bummer when you just got like a brand new bike and you're trying to like, you know, get that nice acceleration, and it just like, it wouldn't go all the way. It would kind of have a dip in the rev line. So I started looking into what could fix this. A lot of people said not to top off the fuel all the way when you're you're fueling your bike. But that didn't work. I tested that a few times and that didn't work. So I just really started looking into maybe another solution to maybe help with the fueling of the bike. And I've heard from other people that have different bikes that they would do this. They would install this device. Maybe I think one of them is called like Fuel Commander or Cobb, or I don't remember exactly, but I started doing research for this bike and I found this from Powertronic is the company that makes this device, and it's an electronic fuel injection optimizer. So what this does is it remaps how the computer delivers fuel into the fuel injection system. So and it does that with a piggyback system where it kind of taps into your current system with this device. And you know what? It fixed the problem for the most part. Which problem? Well, it fixed the the stalling still happens, but less than it used to. So that's good. You know, it doesn't happen as often because, you know, you're riding your bike, you go to downshift and it just shuts off. So that can be really scary. The thing that it really resolved was that the first gear acceleration. It doesn't have that dip anymore. It doesn't have that dip when you're accelerating. So that really helped as far as, fixing that problem with this motorcycle. Now, I did find, I wouldn't say a quirk, but it's just something that you have to just be on the lookout for. The device has a setting. It has a setting where you can put it from, I think it's from 1 to 8 or from 1 to 10, I believe. And if you go too high in the settings, it's gonna consume a lot more fuel. I did notice that when I would go on rides and I would have it all the way cranked up to the last setting where it delivered the most fuel, it would just consume a lot more gas. And you know, one of the things that's fun about having a motorcycle that is that it's good on gas. You know what I mean? Like you go out and you can go very far away and just, you know, you fuel up one time and you're good. And with this bike, the Vitpilen 401, you have to actually be very careful because they have really small tanks. So what I ended up doing was I ended up putting the setting on this device in the middle. I think I used 4 or 5 or 5 or 6, right in the middle. Whatever the setting is, I put it right in the middle. And that seemed to work fine where if I would put it lower, the stalling, not stalling, but that dip in the first gear would be present again. But right in the middle, in the, I think it's the 5th setting, the 5th map, you don't have that problem. And you don't have to go all the way up because you don't want it to be consuming a lot more gas. So does it fix the problem? Does it help with the Vitpilen 401? Yes, it does, and I would definitely recommend to get this. I don't know if there's another brand out there, but this is the brand that I bought, and it had good reviews, and a few other people have used it, so it works really good. So if you're thinking about using this, buying this for your Vitpilen 401, your Vitpilen 401, or even, I don't know if it's a problem on the 701. You guys can tell me down in the comments below if that's a problem on the 701, but for the 401, that's definitely a problem as far as the stalling and the dipping on the first gear. And I think that whole thing with the dipping on the first gear and stalling, I think it's because the emissions on these bikes are regulated really, really strongly in Europe, and here they just come with the same setting. So we get the consequences of that over here. So yeah, so would I buy it? I definitely would buy it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you where I ended up placing this device on my motorcycle. And so on my bike, what I decided to do is just, the obvious first choice was to put it under the seat. So let's take the seat out so you can see where it's placed. So this is the battery. So I place it right in between the strap for the battery. So here's the device, and you have 2 different connectors right here, and these 2 cables go separate into the fuel system down there. So what I did is I routed it right here in between the plastic part and the tank. So right there you can see the cable that's going right through there. Then I routed those cables right through here, and here is the part that you need to take off to install this. So let's take it apart really quick. So you bring this down without breaking anything. And you got to make sure that this is connected there again. So as you can see, there are 2 green connectors here. So these connectors go connected to each other. Like this end right here comes from the bike, and this other end here also comes from the bike. So these 2 go together, and these 2 cables that come from the device over there, what happens is you bring it here, you disconnect the 2 green cables originally from the bike that uses this connector and this connector, and then you use one end male with the female part, and on the other end you do the same thing. It's very straightforward. You disconnect these green cables originally from your bike, and then you'll have 2 green connectors for the bike, and that's it. That's pretty much it. That's pretty straightforward. You tuck these in there, you put this back over here, and you install this back again. I'm not gonna do that. It's gonna take forever, but that's how it is. So I routed from over there, put it right in between the strap for the battery. I took 2 connectors here, and these 2 other cables go routed all the way down there and do exactly what I did for that. So that is how you install that cable and the piggyback for the Fuel X Pro. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope that answers all the questions that you might have had about this system. The Fuel X Pro for the Vitpilen 401. Again, if you just type in on Google Powertronics Fuel X Pro, it'll come up. They have a menu with different brands of the different bikes, and they have KTMs, and then they have the Husqvarna Vitpilen 401. So yeah, so should you buy this for your bike? I definitely recommend it because it's definitely going to help with that problem in the first gear. Again, that stalling and that dip in the first gear is definitely going to improve. So I definitely recommend you to buy it. This video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. This is just me. I have the bike, I own the bike, and I figured I'd do a video for people that are looking to improve a little bit the acceleration and the fuel quirks that this bike has. Okay, so I really hope this video was helpful for you, and stay tuned for more videos.